I'm Arden 13.
Welcome to our show, World Tiger.
Building Dragon.
Today we are continuing, or finishing with one of World Anvil's summer camp prompts.
The summer camp program is coming to an end with this final prompt that we are putting out, and it has been going on all throughout the month of July to promote world building as well as the community in general.
Yeah. The prompts will still stay up afterwards, so you can keep world building, keep going, but they did have some awesome prizes available, which I guess we'll find out if we won anything.
We will see, and we'll probably say something about it.
Yeah.
If we do. We'll see.
Who knows?
Who knows?
They also have some really incredible subscription options if you want to check them out. I started off this summer camp program just with their free program, just to see how that turned out, and I have definitely upgraded since. So
it is a free program, that should be stated, and you can do so much with the program already as a free program. You are able to upgrade to one of their paid subscriptions, and they have so many features that come with the paid subscriptions. It's arguably incredibly worth it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Incredibly worth it. But in any case, I think it's time we got to the prompt. For the final time, what is the prompt?
Today we get to write about a person in our world who secretly controls things behind the scenes.
I feel about this one.
I have no idea. I have no ideas.
I have an idea, but it's not... My issue with this thing constantly in world building is that I don't want to say too much because... I want it to be a mystery that can be discovered by my readers, by my players. So I don't know how much I'm going to be able to bring myself to write about. We'll see.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
But for a final time, going over the rules, we have given ourselves 30 minutes to answer these prompts.
Each of our submissions have to be at minimum 300 words.
After the 300 words and our 30 minutes are up, the two of us will come back together for one final time. This is very terminal. I'm so sorry.
Sad.
To share what we came up with.
Some of our best ideas have come from our collaborations, as we've seen in the past.
That they have. But despite the fact that this is the last time we are doing this for Summer Camp 2020, that does not preclude us doing this again next year or any other collaborations that we have further here on the channel. So I think this is an excellent start. But in any case, let's...
Time skip!
And we are back.
We're back.
I got into this one.
Good.
I got into this one in the midst of it. It took me a second, but I think I was able to figure something out. What about you?
I think I kind of tripped over the finish line on this one. I have a lot of, when I create a character, a lot of the time, or a person in my books, a lot of the time it'll start off with just bullet points of, this is the basic purpose that they'll have. Here are some mini points to know about them, but I don't really have a whole lot to show, honestly. Again, a lot of the responses or a lot of the answers I have on here are one sentence underneath the paragraphs, but yeah, it was okay. It was just, tripping over the finish line.
Tripping over the finish line, nothing wrong with that. Well, would you like to go then?
Yes, I will start, and then we'll go into whatever awesome one you came up with. So
stop that.
Well, I think mine is still cool.
Don't put that JoJo on me, Ricky Bobby. Go for it.
I came up with a character called Mordai. He is a tiefling man with very, very dark skin, pearl white eyes, very, very straight, pearly white teeth, and pretty much white hair. I had originally created this character when I was running a short-lived campaign in Theatrum. He was one of my players. Was going into none of the people that were in the campaign had ever played D&D before, so it was kind of, they really needed some mentors and some guidance in game to kind of show them what they could do. So this was a character that I had created for one of my friends who was playing a rogue to kind of show this is what a higher level rogue charlatan mastermind character can do. He is either given himself or has taken the title of Keeper of the Secret Roads. He is in charge of a lot of selling goods and weapons kind of underground, stealing a lot of goods and kind of moving them into other places. That sort of shifty handiwork. He is very charismatic, and but yeah, he was born in the city of Estermary and was present during the ransacking of Estermary, which I believe I referenced in a video before. I can't remember exactly. Oh, we were talking about the repurposed buildings. So he was there during that event. And it was kind of one of those huge moments in his lives where he was like, there are higher powers playing with people's lives, and we can't do anything about it except die. And he was just very reasonably upset about that. So he started this little trade company underground to supply weapons, food, anything into this underground area. He obviously started off in his hometown of Estermary, but has begun to branch out to the other Rodenef city of Basin Fair, and his main goal as of right now is to send up weapons, goods, and other resources up to Mataro Manel and get in touch with the lords up there, because he has heard rumors that they are still using plane shifters up north, and he thinks that that would be a great way to move resources very quickly as far as his underground system. So right now he is sending up resources to help them, or he is in the process of starting those relations.
Sure.
So as far as characteristics, education, he really just started off as a pickpocketer on the streets of Estermary. Not a lot to go off of.
Humble beginnings.
Very, very humble beginnings. And after the ransacking of Estermary, that was kind of what got him on his start of like, no, I need to be doing something to better my own life, and stop people from messing it up and changing things. I'm trying to go back through. Really, this character started off as just a, like I said, trying to show a beginner character is like, this would be your shifty, chaotic, neutral, evil, rogue character that's moving things underground. But yeah, I was able to go into a couple of the virtues and vices. You know, he works really well under pressure. He's known for getting himself out of trouble with his words. He is a bit unstable, and he's definitely a coward. So if things start to not go his way, he'll just be like, you guys take care of that, I'm dipping out. And his morals are definitely, he has a good idea, but the way that he gets to those good deeds is very dark and not good. I think I wrote on here that he, being a tiefling in the country of Rodenef, he is automatically seen as like not that great. He's looked down upon, and so the way I kind of counteracted that was that he plays himself off as a merchant or a wealthy noble in Estermary to kind of give that extra addition of, I'm not from around here, but I have a lot of wealth and I have a lot of power. It's just,
and I am from around here.
But he is from around there. So, but yeah, I don't have a whole lot more. It's very simple, bad guy, keeper of the secret roads, charismatic, rogue character.
I mean, he's in it for himself. He's in it, yeah, right?
Yeah, okay. yeah. The only other detail I added on here is that I had built out a couple orphanages in Estermary, and I wanted it to be added just for that, just to leave him at chaotic, kind of neutral. He makes regular donations to one of the orphanages, and if you dive deeper into that storyline, you can find out that he actually has a child there. And so, yeah. And it's a sad story, but but that's pretty much all I had. This one I kind of struggled to get I had a clear vision of what he looked like, and then as far as mechanics or how he operated, or how he wanted it to work in game or in a story, I was just like, and he kind of does this thing in the shadows. But I think that's part of it, just having a character that's in the shadows. You're not really supposed to know exactly every single detail about their lives.
And that is something that I can't write.
Right.
Because I start figuring out all of the details.
Right. So, but yeah.
Was there a part that you really enjoyed writing about for him particularly? You have a lot written.
It looks like
they
I have
are
a lot
bullet
written.
points, but it is a lot.
I really liked, because something that I mentioned when we did the last character that we had to write about for these prompts, I struggled with getting the personality flaws. I have an issue with a lot of my characters where I make them very like, there's nothing wrong with them, they're perfect in every way, like that sort of thing. So I was able to actually go into like, this is why he's seen as a coward, and this is why he's seen as a little bit more unstable and immoral and just not a good person. And yeah, I don't know, I feel like I did struggle with this one a little bit, like I said, tripping over that finish line, but it's a starting point and I can keep working from there. But nice. Why don't we move on to yours?
Sure. So, like I had mentioned, you were able, whether or not you're tripping, as you say, I think that there is a blessing in disguise in that whole situation where, yes, this person is supposed to be shadowy, so it's good that you weren't able to come up with every single detail, because I can't do that.
Right.
The person that I wrote about does not have a name that is known. They are only ever referred to as he who fells titans, or the fell. Now, I love this idea because this was some collaboration that I had initially had with Mal when we were working through some of the stuff on the Ellecrid timeline. In the first age of Ellecrid, when everything was starting to kind of like fizzle out from the last war, from the gods being involved, and yada yada yada, there were these things called the Titan Wars, and there were 3 of them. There was, if I remember correctly, there were 2 in the first age, there's 1 in the first age and then 2 in the second age. So primarily in the second age. But they were wars fought between the dragons and the giants, which I had actually mentioned at one point in an earlier video, I recall. But after the second Titan War, because of how exhaustive and ridiculous and chaotic that war was, certain individuals around the world who were greatly affected by these wars came together and said, okay, we need to make this not happen again.
Yeah.
So they created this sort of organization that I'm not entirely sure what exactly it is called. I haven't gotten that far. The working title that we are using right now is Titanfall. But the idea is that this organization is kind of a shadowy organization that manipulates, pulls strings, and pushes world events in a certain direction that is favorable to them and their assets. A lot of people in the comments right now are probably saying, Illuminati confirmed! Which is fine. They are kind of like the Illuminati, however, I'm not gonna go there. I'm just not gonna go there. If you want to think about it, this is the Ellecrid Illuminati. If that is what makes it easier to understand, then that is what we get. But I have created this individual called the Fell. Now, the Fell may or may not be the head of the organization. It is unclear. However, it is not known who they actually are. whether they are a mortal, whether they are immortal, whether they are an elf, a human, a half-orc, a dragonborn, anything. Nobody knows who the Fel is, because they always wear these very modest robes that cover their entire body. They have red velvet boots and gloves that they wear that cover their hands and feet, so you can never figure that out. And they also wear a mask, a full face mask that wraps around their entire head and down their neck, so you do not know what or who this person is.
Like, there's no features that you can
There's
see.
no features. The only thing that people can really discern would be their height and a supposed weight, but that's not enough to define a person.
No.
Like, their ears are even covered.
Yeah.
You can't, like, at that point, since it's a fantasy setting, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, does he have knife ears?
Right.
Then he's an elf. You can't tell. You have no idea. And the mask that they wear is featureless, or has some ornate design or whatever, but it never betrays who they are under the mask. And the eyes, you can't see in. So you don't even know the color of their eyes.
Wow.
There's so much mystery surrounding this individual that there's a lot of theories and there's a lot of horror stories about him. Wow, I wrote a lot. I did not realize.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Oh gosh, I don't want to go into all of this. I will talk more or less about their mannerisms, their personal stuff. Because people don't know who this person is, all they really have to go on is interactions with them. And the Fel always walks around and stands very calmly, very slowly. Their hands are always like clasped together across their chest.
For those that can't see, Arden's doing this.
Yeah, sorry, they can't tell. Clasped across their chest, doing what she did. And when they speak, they have no, like, it's not monotone, but the intonation is so deadbeat and so measured that you can't really measure, like, whether or not they're angry or whether or not they're happy, they're excited or anything like that. Although every word that they say has a weight to it, and you feel that when they speak. You feel that even if I'm looking at you, but I'm talking to Kat would feel the immense, like, weight of that person speaking just because of the way that they talk. No word is uncalculated or thrown away waywardly. Everything is thought out. He doesn't speak often. They don't speak often, but when they do, there is a reason and a motive behind it. They talk about the way that they walk and their mannerisms. They are very reserved. I keep saying he. That's not like it's actually a he. I have no idea. It's a they. They walk, they're very reserved. They don't throw their arms out very often. They're very controlled so as not to betray anything about themselves. The other thing that I wanted to throw in was when they walk, they make no sound. Zero sound. It is actually there. I have an interaction that I kind of alluded to here, that somebody was watching the Fel walk away from them, and it was driving them insane how quiet it was. Like, they couldn't hear anything. They were trying to strain to hear something, and they couldn't. Talking a little bit more about the Fel, their hygiene. Here's something. This was something that I kind of enjoyed from a few, like 2 or 3 prompts ago when I was talking about a little detail to add into the world. They smell. The Fel has been. You don't know, since they cover themselves completely. You have no idea what their hygiene looks like. However, it is a common thing that if you smell lemongrass and lavender, you're interacting with the Fel. That is just an odor and aroma that surrounds them. And that could change from Fel to Fel. If the Fel is a different person, that changes hands when the new Fel, like when an old Fel, like, dies or resigns or whatever. Nobody knows anything about this person. But they are recorded to smell of lemongrass and lavender. which is just two fragrances that I'm actually quite fond of. The motives. Now here's the thing. You talked about how your character, and I apologize, I forget his name. Mordai. His motivations are very much like, I'm in it for myself, I want to spread my enterprises about and around. The motivations of the Fel are ideally the motivations of the organization that they work for, that they work among. And the motives of the organization is to push history and push events into directions that are favorable to them. The Fel is referred to as the one who fells titans. Initially, that was felling titans, what were considered titans of the age, dragons, giants, these colossal creatures. Now, an empire is a titan, and if they aren't doing what the Fel wants them to do, they're going to get destroyed. They're going to have every string pulled in every way, shape, or form to make it happen in the way that the Fel wants it to happen, that the organization wants it to happen. The other thing also is that to know that the Fel is a part of this organization is like some insider meta knowledge that you as a player or as a GM would only know because of a specific thing that is said in game. Other members of the organization hold like the emblem of their organization like on their robes somewhere, I'm proud to be a part of this organization. The Fel is nondescript. Has no insignia, no nothing. The only reason you would know that they are a part of that particular organization is either you are in the organization or you figured it out through some obscure means. They are completely nondescript and reclusive. Very shadowy character.
Yeah, so they are just known for being the reason that these titans would fall.
They are known for yes and no. The fact that it is not common knowledge, this organization's existence is not common knowledge.
Right.
Maybe when they were conceived, because they were conceived to just to bring down the dragons and the giants, maybe. But where they are now and what they do now, nobody needs to know about them. They don't want to be known by the people. It is something that it's their own little, cool kids club. And the Fel, the only reason anyone, oh my gosh, my nose is itching so bad. The only reason that anyone really knows about the Fel is because they've had interactions with the Fel that has either led to a rival of theirs getting taken down or them themselves getting taken down. Yeah. And sometimes it might not even be the Fel. It could be another member of the organization. And I'm thinking that I'm just going to come up with like 5 or 6 other people that are in a kind of a similar way where nobody really knows who they are. They change hands constantly. And they just run this organization of like, pseudo-Templar-esque, we run Illuminati, we run the world from the shadows sort of situation. We pull strings. And so on and so forth.
I really like the visual that you came up with. Just the idea that they have no idea society has no idea what this person would even look like. Most people don't even know they exist. And I don't know, I really like the idea of just the very plain robes with the full face mask and then the red gloves and the red shoes. And again, the little detail with the lemongrass and lavender. I like that a lot. Just something to add in there.
You do that a lot, and that's something that I've been, over the course of this project, been wanting to try to work more and more into Ellecrid.
But that's a really cool concept. I like that a lot. I would be terrified to meet them in game. However, that would be not a fun time.
I hope you don't.
That would be awful. But was there any other part that you were super excited about?
I think I've really covered everything.
Alrighty, well, that's all I got.
That is all I got. Thank you so much for joining us on this entire project, this month-long journey with us. Let us know in the comments below something you enjoyed about today's video. If you have an idea you're willing to share, or if you would like us to keep going. They do have 3 more prompts coming out on the 31st. Ooh. We could come back and do those as like kind of a big episode, a larger thing where we can address kind of our thoughts overall about the project.
That sounds like fun.
We'll let you guys tell us whether or not we should move forward on that one. We might just write the prompts anyways. But if you want to see us and hear what we came up with, then we'll leave that up to you. Just, you know all the details, and Kat, take it away.
If you did enjoy today's video, please make sure to hit all those buttons that everyone else bugs you about. We would love for you to join our lunch table.
And if I can ask you one final time to go check out World Anvil for summer camp, please go do so. It's totally worth it.
Well, you guys have been great. I'm Kat.
I'm Arden13. I'm still waiting on that ramen.
We'll see you here soon.
Bye.
Bye.